So we now have created a checklist template. It's a number 22 over here for daily pump inspections. Now that we have the checklist template, we'll look at how you can actually use this template in your day-to-day work by linking it to work orders. There's three ways you can do that. Two of them are manual and one of them is automatic on a schedule. You can think about the scheduled one as a way to automatically create work orders that for daily inspections, for example, that already have that checklist attached to them to save you the trouble and the work of doing that manually. We'll start with the two manual ways, which are probably sometimes we'll have to use this, so it's handy to know how to do it, and then we'll go on how to schedule a work order that has a checklist attached to it. The first way of manually creating a work order with a checklist attached to it is by coming to the checklists search console that you see here now, and then finding the checklist that you'd like to use and clicking on its name. You'll notice that some of them don't have a clickable name, and that's because they don't have any content, so you can't do anything with it other than adding contents. But in our case, number 22 here is clickable, so we can do that. We can link this checklist to a work order. Let's do that. You click the name. Once you do that, you probably will not see anything because my screencast software does not show you the message that shows up, and it says, are you sure you want to create a new work order linked with this checklist? We'll say, yes, I want to do that. Once you do that, the system will ask you, and I know that you can't see that either, but it's waiting for your input because it wants to know if you would like to go to the work order you just created. So you've got two options. You can just you say no to this warning and you continue to work on the checklists console, or you say yes and then you jump right into the work order that has been created by the system with that checklist attached to it, so you can process it further. So I will do that. I will go to the work order that has just been created. So here we are. It's before it's a work order, it's a work request, and it's what we have here, number 775, and you can manipulate it like with any work order and put it into process for your maintenance department. You can see here that the checklist that we've selected and that we have recently created is attached and can be used in this work order. So you've seen how we can do it manually by clicking the name of the checklist on the work order, on the search console of checklists. So now let's look at the second way that we can link a checklist to a work order, and that is by manually coming over here and starting the creation of a manual work request. When you already know that you are going to link a checklist to a work request that you're manually creating, what you need to be concerned about really is to know how to identify the checklist that you're looking for. In our case, I know a few things about that checklist. The first thing is that the checklist is called daily pump something, so that's a way that I can look for it. But you see that I have a lot of checklists here that are also called daily, so that really doesn't help me much. So I know another thing. I know what is the ID of that checklist because I remember looking at it when we were on the checklist search console, and it's number 22. So if we do that, we'll only get the option of the daily pump inspection that we are looking for, which is number 22. So once you do that, you click on it, and another warning that unfortunately you cannot see will show up to ask you, actually to inform you that all work request fields will reset, and that means the target functional location, the type, the summary, the full description, and they will autofill and you will lose any information you may have already entered. So this is to save you from, if you are not very experienced and you start filling up all of this information over here, the system is telling you that wait a minute, if you're going to load a checklist, then information related to, for example, the target functional location, the summary, and the description will be pulled from the information that is already saved on the checklist template. So that's what it's doing now. We'll say yes, I want that information to be pulled in. And once you do that, you see that the target functional location is pre-filled for you. The summary is also pre-filled for you. It is handy to keep the checklist ID tag on the summary because that makes it easy for you to look for information later on work orders. So I recommend that you keep it. You can remove it, but I recommend that you keep it. And also the description is pulled from the description of the checklist, which all of this saves you the trouble to have to specify all of that again on a work request. We just pull that from the template. Once you do that, you, like with any work request that you manually create, you click the create button here at the bottom, and then this you can go, okay, we'll display the current work request, and we'll see the same thing that we saw before, which is the checklist that we've selected is now linked and usable on this work request. Now we will quickly look at how we can create a maintenance plan with the work order that already has a checklist connected or linked to it. We will pull that work order on a schedule every time that schedule is triggered. For example, for daily inspections, where you have a work order with a checklist attached to it, that comes out every day already. So the way to do that is you go to the creation of a work request, very much like we have done before manually. But remember, now what we are doing is a template work order that contains the checklist and the template itself. Okay, so then that we will link to a maintenance plan, and that maintenance plan will trigger the creation of work orders from then on a schedule that you define with that checklist attached to it. So let's do the same thing. So you already know this. I want to pull checklist number 22. So let's do that. It will ask me, do I want to pre-fill all the information? Yes, I do. It will do that. We just create the work order as we have done before. But this time, this work order is a little bit different. So let's go back to it. And now we will convert this work order to a maintenance plan. What this means is that we're going to use this template of work order as really the template that the maintenance plan will pull from to create a work order, in this case daily. So we do that. We go to convert to maintenance plan, and in here you can do a few things. We will set, okay, it's March 21st. We want it to generate this today. You can do several other things in terms of scheduling, but this is part of the maintenance plan tutorials. So for here now, we're just going to create it, and we're going to generate it once on the start date. Once you do that, that's it. Okay, we can go back and see a few things about this maintenance plan, but simply in simple terms, that's how you do it from now on. And in this case, I only selected the maintenance plan to be created today once, so the work order will come out. It does take a little bit because the scheduler is running as we are talking, and I would have to force it, but the work order will then come out on that schedule. So let's wait for that. I'll rejoin you once that work order has been created. So the work order with the checklist attached that was automatically generated by the maintenance plan that we've created has already been issued. So we can go and look at it. And you will notice from the work order search console that there's work order 779 that came out or was created by maintenance plan 27, which is the one that we've just created. And it comes with a checklist number 22 attached to it. So your technicians would receive this in the morning, and they can go out on the field and do this inspection that is covered by this checklist. And these are the three ways you can link checklists to work orders. 2 are manual and 1 is automatic on a schedule.